wrestlefanatic77 asks, worst video game you've ever played? When I mean worst, I am referring to game you just absolutely hate, whether it's the story, the gameplay, amount of glitches, etc. I mean, you really didn't need to explain to me why I would hate a game. I understand why I would hate a game. Top game I loathe very easily, World Hunter. A lot of people like to throw around worst PlayStation game out there. This one is always at the top of my list. It's not a game that is marketed in any way, shape, or form. It's not a game many people would play because it's actually a hunting game. I know Whitetail Challenge marks a lot of people's top hated games list. I haven't played it. I've actually bought that game just so I can compare it with this one. I'm sure that one's better because people have actually earned the platinum. This one does not have a platinum. I actually made a long video of why I hate the game. I will link that below this. So if you haven't seen it, you can watch it. It is quite possibly the worst game I've ever played. Beyond that, I did write Nobby Boy. I crossed it off because, I mean, it wasn't a terrible game. It severely underseeded, didn't exceed it, deseeded? Yeah, because I was expecting, I think that was the same creators of Katamari, so I was thinking, oh, this is going to be another sweet, awesome game, but it turned into a super stupid play box where you don't do jack squat, and I wasted, it cost $5, and I was just like, wow, this is the worst thing I've ever played. I mean, it wasn't a terrible game. It was well made. It had a lot of interesting little things, but, you know, at the time, I was like, I hate this. Yeah. Other games I can think of, I was actually thinking one earlier. Now I can't remember it. See, that's what I'm talking about, short-term memory. I cannot remember what I was thinking about an hour ago. I think it was a PlayStation game. Not a PlayStation, it was a PC game. Hellgate London. This was supposed to be it was shortly after, not shortly, but people were thinking it was going to be the next World of Warcraft. It was like a first-person RPG where you're on the streets and sewers of London fighting demons. It was terribly underwhelming. I pre-ordered it with a bunch of people in college. We were all like, oh, this is going to be awesome. All the videos look cool. Everything about it sounded awesome, but it just felt empty. It was super boring. I played maybe 2 hours of it. I gave up. Other people that I bought it with kept playing. They concluded eventually, yes, it sucked as much as I thought it did, and they stopped playing. So that was one of the most terrible games. I can't really remember a game I've hated because of glitches. LA Noire would have been on that list because the final vehicle I needed to unlock did not pop the trophy. So I was angry at that for a while, but I went back and I got that eventually. But I have rather low expectations of games. If a game is okay, I'll think it's good. If a game is fantastic, I'll think it's, one of the greatest games ever. If a game's bad, I'll think, this isn't too terrible. A lot of people probably play way more games than I do, so they'll have a little bit higher expectations of what a good game should be. I've played Uncharted, I've played God of War, I've played Great Game X, whatever you want to say. I played a few of them, so I know what a good game is supposed to be like. Great storytelling, great gameplay, great mechanics, great everything. Some games do not have that. Some games, just don't do it very well. But I usually try to not compare things with each other. I'll just try to take the game for what it is and say, am I having fun? I just spoke about my Q on Walt's question not too long ago. Early this morning, actually. It's a pretty good game. Some people might say, wow, this is a terrible game because it's at a certain point, you're not even challenging yourself anymore. It's just, I'm grinding at this point because playing through the game like you normally would, there is no way in hell you could beat the difficulty, the final difficulty, hell. There is just no way. You would have to grind some XP, which is, I think a stupid gameplay mechanic to use. Not really a mechanic, but you should really have a different way of allowing people to gain XP. Because I got to the end of hard and I was getting demolished. You get through, the game has 4 different towers. You get to the final tower, and just the difficulty just goes through the roof, and you're just getting killed automatically. So enough of that. I already talked about that in another video. I can't think of any other games I've absolutely hated. Trying to think. No. I'm typically very behind on games nowadays just because a lack of free time. I just got Spider-Man for my birthday. I've been enjoying that. That's a great game. But yeah, I don't have too much hatred for games. Even Little Adventure on the Prairie. I get that's a terrible game. I didn't hate it. I only hated it because I got stuck and I didn't realize that you could, I don't even remember what I had to do, but I kept getting to one part in one level and I kept dying. I could not defeat this one enemy. So I had to ask, like, you jump and attack, or you jump on them and attack. I don't remember what it was, but even I didn't hate that. I mean, it's hard to hate a game you pay $1 for, you understand what you're getting. But if you're paying, like, I hear a lot of negative things about Anthem right now. I'm sure that's a game you could hate, but I don't play new games. Not new games that cost $60 at least. I wouldn't say I hate Fortnite. I'm not good at it. That's probably why I don't like it. I don't hate it. I understand the appeal. I played it for a while. I played with a guy from college a little bit. I played with a few PST people. It's fun if you play with a group of people. If you're going in by yourself, it's not fun. That's not the game's fault. That's really your own fault because it's, you're meant to play with a group of people. What else? Not a game I hate, but a thing I hate. This is like the most niche thing that you could hate. The Guitar Hero Rock Band difference. So Guitar Hero has the touch slide at the bottom, whereas Guitar has the buttons. So in Guitar Hero, you're supposed to use the slidey for things, which you cannot do unless you own that guitar. Same thing for drums. The drums are supposed to have the 3 and then the 2 cymbals, but that does not exist on the Rock Band drums. So there's a trophy for getting the tutorial complete on Guitar Hero something. Guitar Hero 5, Guitar Hero Greatest Hits. I don't remember which one it is, but you're supposed to complete the tutorial, which you cannot do unless you own the peripheral. I understand that they want to sell you the peripheral to play the game, but the fact that all of those together you can't use, it's a very niche market to begin with, which is why it probably died out. I don't remember where I'm going with this. I don't hate it. It annoyed me. I am going way too long on this video. I do not hate many games. Those I do, I will name World Hunter. Again, I'm going to put the video on the bottom. It's like a 20-minute video I recorded. Terrible. Do not buy it. I wrote a guide for it just so everyone can understand. Do not buy it. Do not play it. There's no platinum. There's no way to achieve it. It's terrible. It's god-awful. Godspeed.